up, guys? How y'all doing today? Well, baby, if you are Kim Kardashian, your All Is Fair co-stars are dragging you, and they are not stopping. You guys, listen, there was just a huge interview that Glenn Close and a few other things from All's Fair actually did. Now, if you guys don't know, the thing that makes All's Fair so weird is, I get it, it's kind of like Desperate Housewives Dynasty. It's supposed to be cheesy like a soap opera. The one thing everybody was asking is, how did you get Naomi Watts, Glenn Close, Niecy Nash, Paula, whatever, Tiana, how did you get all these heavyweight actors on the screen together and make Kim Kardashian the star? Kim, who literally looks like, if you remember when you was little and you made your Barbie dolls, like sit there, Bratz dolls, and then you had them have conversations when they're like, oh, yeah, I want to go to the beach. That's how Kim looks, only her mouth moves a little bit like, blah, blah, blah. It's just very, Everybody was asking, how did you get all these people on board? And on top of that, Kim's a star. Now, here's the thing. We found out shortly after, Kim was the producer. I know it's a Ryan Murphy production, but Kim produced it and shopped it around. So Kim is the money. Kim is the boss. And she made a vehicle that she could push herself through. All right, enough said. However, we do need to talk about this, right? Because the shade. Glenn Close said, Kim Kardashian has no pretensions that she's a great actress. This is when she was hitting back at the 0-star All's Fair's reviews. And when I read this, I said, wait, is Kim okay with her saying this? Some of the crazier quotes. Let me read this, okay? Because we got to get through some of the craziest quotes. They said Glenn Close hits back at the critical mauling her recent series, All's Fair. The actor stars in Ryan Murphy's legal drama, which has received a string of 0-star reviews. And now Kim is bragging it's #1 on Hulu, but I think all the bad press makes it so that people are like, wait, how bad is it? And they're tuning in. And also Hulu's like, oh my God, this is our highest rated series ever. And everybody was like, is it your highest rated series? Because how many original series have you had? I'm curious, because if it's less than 10, you need to sit down. Anyway, with The Guardian's Lucy, this is a Guardian article, Lucy Magna described it as fascinatingly, incomprehensibly, existentially terrible. The series currently holds a 3% rating on the Rotten Tomatoes site. Now, according to Glenn Close, and you know she's from Fatal Attraction, a bunch of movies, she's a heavyweight. The main issue was the choice to air the worst 3 episodes first. She said, I personally think that the first 3 episodes were the weakest. That was a tough way to start. I've seen all 9 episodes, and I think it actually adds up to something. Now, people are saying she's saying that because Kim is at the forefront in the first 3 episodes. But as the series goes on, whoever was behind the camera realized Kim looks like robot-Barbie delivering lines. Oh my God, you're sleeping with my husband. They just dropped off of a cliff. Oh no, right? So she's saying the reason it gets better is because Kim, even though she's a quote-unquote star, she becomes less important after the first 3 episodes. So that was shade right there. But hold on. It's not over. It's not over. There's more. She also spoke out. She also spoke out in support of her co-star Kim Kardashian. Now, when I said that, I was like, "Oh, that's good," because Kim really thought she bonded with all her co-stars until, right? They said she also spoke out in support of her co-star Kim Kardashian, who plays one of a number of women who found a legal firm that deals in divorces in California. She said she had a good relationship with Kardashian on set. At one point, going to an alcohol viewing of Glenn Close's movie classic Fatal Attraction, which is organized by her mother, Kris Jenner. I'll say one thing. Kris knows how to literally wine and dine and just charm someone to death. Charm someone to death. But listen to this. Glenn Close said this. What surprised me was Kim's seriousness of intent. She always knew her lines. She was never late. She was always prepared. I said, okay. And I said, when I heard that, I said, So you were spending all that time you should have been studying for the bar to rehearse your lines. I mean, I guess if you know you're not passing, why not? She had no pretensions. Get this. Kim had no pretensions that she was a great actress, but she was smart enough to have people around her who she could learn from. And she was a big ego, or what I call a life's too short for your BS person. I would have been unhappy, but she's not. Y'all, see, here's the thing. I don't know if you guys recognize shade, but this is crazy shade to say about your co-star. What surprised me was her seriousness. She had no pretensions that she was a great actress, but she was smart enough to be around people who did. And she'd had a big ego or thought different. Glenn Close was like, I wouldn't have done this. She said, you know, Kim wasn't, so I would actually feel bad for her. Kim probably thought she bonded with Glenn Close throughout the whole filming and press tour. Meanwhile, Glenn Close just sat here and basically called you a pitiful charity case. And this is a show she agreed to do because it was nothing more than a glorified cash grab, you guys. But the shade gets even worse. She also blamed the Kardashians' reputation for part of the negative backlash. The Kardashians would say this themselves, but not everybody likes them. They have an image. And then she doubled down and she said, you guys, I swear to God, I've seen all 9 episodes. It's pretty effing good. It is what it is. It's juicy and outrageous, and at times it is touching. You guys, what? Okay, let me just say this, right? Because I know there's going to be some Kardashian people in the thing talking about, what are you talking about? You're just jealous. I'm not jealous of someone whose whole career was built on self-hate. Kudos if you watch else fair, if not. But I am saying one thing, though. That was a drag if I ever heard one. And this is what actually irks Kim. She thinks her money can buy everything. It doesn't buy talent. It doesn't buy real friends. It doesn't buy anything. And I think that's why Kim's always moving in a constant state of hunger, you know? And also, is it just me, or is Kim's manipulation tricks just starting to get really old? First they do something because they think it's about to ish on you hoes. Then it flops. Then they show something being human. Oh my God, I failed the bar. Yes, Kim, that's what happens when you don't study. But you had nannies, you had tutors, you had billions. You could have made this happen. You didn't pass it because you didn't try. But you wanted all the accolades. So then when all that happened, then all of a sudden people are like, oh, she's humanized. And then boom, we're now being sold Christmas skims. I'm sick of this. I get it. The Kardashians are human. But why is it every single time they show something where they're crying or they're broken down, they use that bit of empathy to come in and sell us something? I want to know. I see the game. I'm familiar with your game, Kimberly Noel. And again, the bar, the sad part is she's starting to use her. But you know what? We can talk about that later. Let's get back to the way Kim's, even her co-hosts, her co-stars, because Kim made her, are dragging her. And Glenn Close has literally let us know that if Kim didn't pay her a pretty penny, she would have never agreed to work with her. But at least Kim was humble and knew her place at the bottom. You guys, I don't care what you say. I don't think Kim approved this, but maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm wrong. Anyway, listen, let me know what you think in the comments. I'll talk to y'all later. Bye.